Hi, and welcome everyone to this episode of Health by M, the podcast with me, Mathilde. I hope that you are doing well, having a great week so far, and having a nice start to this new season, this fall. I've spent the past couple of months in Stockholm, and the weather has actually been really nice. And even though fall's right around the corner, it's been sunny, it's been almost warmer than it was in July and August, so I have to say I'm very happy right now, especially since I'm not a fan at all of fall and winter. And I will talk about this episode. And I am 100% a summer person. I would choose the beach and the ocean over snow every single day. I've just never been a fan of the cold, the darkness, or the snow. Like, I barely appreciate snow when it's sunny. A nice winter day, I still think it would be better if I was on a beach in a bikini instead. So I've been happy, really happy this August and September because the weather has actually been really nice, and it feels like we extended summer for a bit. And it's been during these past few years that I've realized that this has almost become a bit of a problem for me. And it's not just that I dislike the cold and darkness. I honestly feel that I'm suffering during the colder months. And this year, I think I started to get anxious about fall and winter in, yeah, probably March. And even though I want to tell myself that I shouldn't let the weather and climate dictate my mood like that, it just doesn't work. I have zero motivation and inspiration between like November and April. I really have to force myself to get things done. And especially when it comes to health and wellness, it's just so hard for me to follow routines and to prioritize taking care of myself when it's pitch dark at like 3 p.m., which it is here in Stockholm. And when it's raining, snowing, super cold, and everybody just hides inside. It's like a completely different world compared to summer, at least here in Stockholm. And I've realized these past few years when I've been living here that it's something that unfortunately affects me a lot. It affects me so much that I don't even see myself living in Stockholm or Sweden full time in the future because I don't know how I would do it. For me, it's like I'm losing months of my life during this period, which in turn makes me even more anxious because it feels like I don't want to live in the present during this time. I'm just waiting for warmer days to come, and I'm always living in the future. And I didn't feel that it was that difficult when I lived in New York because New York fall is honestly great most of the time. It can be nice and warm out until like Christmas, and then it starts to get really cold. But at least when I lived in the city, yes, it could get super cold, but it was more of an really intense but quick winter, if you know what I mean. But over here in Scandinavia, especially in the north, like, oh my God, some years it feels like spring will never arrive. And for me, it is so tough since like I said in the beginning, I don't appreciate anything that has to do with cold, darkness, or snow. So the problem is that, yes, I would love to move to a warmer place during winter and fall, but I also don't want to be away from friends and family. Yes, I know there are worse problems to have, and I don't want to spend this episode, at least not the whole, to rant about how much I dislike winter. But why I'm bringing this up is because I've found it really affecting my overall well-being and mental health. And maybe there are some of you out there who experience this as well. So something I want to talk about in today's episode is S.A.D, or seasonal affective disorder, which is described as the following. Seasonal affective disorder, S.A.D, is a type of depression. It happens during certain seasons of the year, mostly fall or winter, and it is thought that shorter days and less daylight may trigger a chemical change in the brain, leading to symptoms of depression. And when I first read about this, I immediately knew that this is 100% what I'm experiencing during fall and winter. And thinking back on how I felt during the winters these past few years, I can definitely understand it's classified as a type of depression because it's been really tough. Like I said, I've realized this has been a huge problem for me recently. And even though I know many people can say that, oh, it's quite depressing now when it's so dark, or God, it's so cold outside today, it has been like the next level for me. I mean, yes, we would say stuff like that and almost like joke about it, but for me, it's like, no, this is not funny. Like I'm seriously anxious. During times when things like inspiration, motivation, and discipline are lacking, I found it helpful and very important to find a way to make my routines very easy and simple. And the reason why I've created my membership website, The Retreat, is to create a platform where you have some of the best tools and practices within holistic health at one place. A go-to place, whether you want to move your body, find stillness and de-stress, cook something healthy, dive deeper into your manifestation practice, work with your unconscious through hypnosis audios, find journaling prompts, or simply to create your own retreats and routines. And you find everything from yoga, Pilates classes, meditations, guided hypnosis audios, healthy recipes, rituals, and much more on The Retreat. And more content is always released weekly. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in trying, you can use the code PODCAST, which will give you 10% off any of the different memberships. The monthly, the one for 6 months, or the yearly membership. And you find it on healthbym-theretreat.com. Another great subscription service that I just want to promote is Sakara and their incredible meal programs. In addition to teas, supplements, superfood powders, and other wellness essentials, Sakara offers science-backed, organic, nutritious, ready-to-eat meals that are so incredibly delicious. If you like healthy foods and want to make it easier to include that in your everyday life, I can highly recommend Sakara and their meal programs. And they have a few different ones. So if you're interested in trying, I recommend you going to their website and do their quiz, which will help you to discover which program would suit you the best. For example, they have one promoting gut health, one targeting the metabolism, one for energy, and so on. And my favorite is their signature program, which makes me feel so good every time I try it. First of all, it's so nice to have all the meals ready. It really saves you so much time as you don't have to go shopping or prepare anything yourself. It's all ready for you. And then I had really high expectations of the meals before I tried, but I have to say that they exceeded them. Their meals are so good, so delicious, and it makes me so excited every time I do the program. And best of all, if you're new to Sakara, you get 20% off your first order if you use the code XOHealthByM and shop through the link I've provided in the show notes. So don't miss out and make sure to use the code if you want to try this amazing service or anything else from Sakara's website. And you find the code and the link in the show notes, where you also find all the information you need for the retreat and that discount code. And by using these codes, you will help promote Health by M and this podcast as I earn commission. Now, let's go back to the episode. So, therefore, I just wanted to bring this up to both ask you if anyone has experienced this as well and has any tips, but also to share a few things that I've come up with myself in order to feel better during these colder and darker months. And yes, I have a few trips this season, which I'm very thankful for, but to be honest, I'm already stressed out about even the few weeks I know I will have to be in the cold. So unless you're able to completely escape from winter, these are some things that I would try to remember when it's dark and cold and I feel the anxiety coming. So number one, I love saunas, especially infrared saunas, and that is something I really enjoy during winter. It makes me feel so good, especially since an infrared sauna heats up your body rather than the rest of the sauna. I feel like the warmth stays with you longer afterwards. And this is definitely my number one tip, and I can't recommend infrared saunas enough. If you haven't tried, you have to. It's good for your skin, your immune system, lymphatic system, circulation, and more. And my biggest dream is to have one of these at home. But in the meantime, while I'm working on that, I actually have an infrared sauna blanket, which I think works wonders. It doesn't get as warm as the actual sauna, but it's definitely better than nothing, and so nice to just roll out on the floor or the couch whenever you want. Then I would say to slow down a little bit, because stress never makes things better. Also, I've always used fall and winter as my hibernation time. I used to do that a lot when I was studying at NYU. I even told my friends that I would focus pretty much only on studies, going to the gym, and to rest between like December and March. So April 1st used to be a date where I officially came back to life. And I know it may sound a bit depressing, and yeah, it kind of is, but it has really helped me. And looking at the colder months as a season to rest and recharge, so I would have more energy when spring arrives, has helped me to look at it as something not fun, but necessary maybe. And then to have things to look forward to. It could be a trip, party, event, conference, retreat, or so on, but also something smaller. That's really important, I think, all year round, but especially during these months. And maybe something fun you come up with every week, like a meeting with a friend every Friday afternoon at a favorite cafe or something. I did that last winter with my friend Vendela after we had taught classes at the studio we were working at. And it was really nice to have a set time in the schedule every week. Like we had the same time and day each week for a fun lunch or coffee break. And I can really recommend that as well. Then, even though I personally think it can be hard to be consistent with routines during these months, like I said in the beginning, if you can, this will definitely help. And that's why I also wanted to mention the retreat before, because I feel like having a service like that really helps you to be more disciplined and consistent. And also it makes it easier for you to just do the things that actually make you feel good. Then also book beauty treatments. It could be massages, facials, anything that you like. I think spas are perfect to visit during fall and winter. I really feel that both spring and fall are seasons for self-care. And I will actually talk more about treatments and spas in another episode quite soon. So stay tuned for that if you want to know more about some really amazing beauty and body treatments, wellness treatments, and so on. Then I have another tip, and that is to make sure to have good books to read, series and movies to watch. And I think that always helps and can be those small things to look forward to during the week. So these are just a few things I can think of, but I would absolutely love to hear any tips from you. So please let me know your experience with this, and if you have any recommendations on practices and tools to use to feel better during fall and winter. Please comment or write to me on Instagram. Let me know. I would be so thankful for any other tips that you might have. And like always, I would be so happy if you left a review and rating of the show if you like it. It would really mean a lot to me, and it would help the podcast to grow. Also, don't forget to check out the deals and discounts I mentioned earlier from Sakara and my own membership platform, The Retreat, if you're interested in that. So thank you for listening. We're in this together this fall and winter. Let's boost ourselves and really try to make the best out of these months. And I mean, if you like fall and winter, good for you. If you don't, please let's collaborate and find these tools and practices to feel our best. So, all right, I will be back next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.